واشهد ان لا اله الا الله الاحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا احد، مالك الملك يؤتي الملك من يشاء وينزع الملك ممن يشاء، يعز من يشاء ويذل من يشاء، بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. سبح له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم، له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير، هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين، تركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. شرح الله له صدره ووضع عنه وزره وأعلمه أن مع العسر يسرا يسرا، وأمره أن إذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة بتقوى الله، وأحذركم ونفسي من عصيانه ومخالفة أمره، لزوما لقوله الحق تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وكذلك في قول الحق تبارك وتعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. اتقوا الله، فإنه من لا يتقي ربه فإن له معيشة ضنكا، ويحشر يوم القيامة أعمى فيقول: ربي لم حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا، فيقال: كذلك أتتك آياتنا فنسيتها وكذلك اليوم تنسى. My dear brothers, both old and young, we are, alhamdulillah, blessed to start another school year. And with the beginning of a school year, I always would like to address the young people, my hope and the hope of their parents and the hope of the Muslim Ummah, because we are living in a very challenging environment. We're being surrounded with so many challenges, with so many fitan, and youth in particular are being faced with so much in their life. And I am personally, I feel their pain and their difficulties and challenges, and many parents unfortunately are not aware of what their teens are going through in their life, especially as they go back to school and they interact with their friends and with other people around them. In the previous khutbah, I explored Surah Yusuf from the perspective of parent-children relationship. And this is a beautiful chapter in the Quran that Allah Azza wa Jal said, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. We recite unto you, Ya Muhammad, the best of the stories, not for the entertainment, but rather for the benefit of learning and for the benefit of understanding. And in the wake of a report that was released a few days ago by Toronto police, in which 18 or 19 individuals were arrested. Unfortunately, all the names, except one or two, were Muslim names. Guns, drugs, trafficking of cash, different charges, conspiracy of murdering, different charges. And what breaks the heart to see something like this happening in our society, in a predominantly Muslim inhabitant area in Toronto, no need to mention that area. The idea here is to see how much challenges are our youth going through in their life. And one of the things that in the mind of every youth, both male and female, is the success and excelling in life. There is something inside every one of us for wishing to excel in life, to succeed, to become rich, to become powerful, to become influential. And this is something that Allah Azza wa Jal have built inside our minds and our hearts. It's a drive, built-in drive in us. But at the same time, Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to channel this energy or this feeling or this drive inside us in the right perspective, in the right direction, so that we are able to achieve the success both in the dunya and the akhirah. And unfortunately, as many of us who grew up in their childhood, in their teens life, we've seen the understanding of success from a different lens, from the lenses of the Hollywood movies, which focuses primarily on attractiveness, on beauty, on infidelity as an avenue for success. And what's interesting is when you look and trace and study the life of all the successful individuals who lived in the US, they were all successful as a result of their hard work and their persistence and determination to become successful in their life. Unlike what's portrayed and promoted in the movies. And we need to look into how Allah Azza wa Jal have given us a better perspective into how we are able to achieve success in our life. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam, which is all enclosed in one chapter in the Quran titled by Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah said about him that إذ قال ليوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. He saw a dream early in his life, and his whole life was evolving around this dream, which afterwards have led him to become an influential person, a successful person, to become afterwards in charge of the affairs of the most influential nation at that time, which is Egypt. And the secret behind that, behind his success, was not necessarily beauty, though beauty was given to Yusuf alayhi salam because he utiya shatr al-jamal. Half of beauty was given to Yusuf and the rest of the beauty was given to all the creations. But that was not the secret behind the success of Yusuf alayhi salam. It was not coincidence and opportunities and connections necessarily that have led Yusuf to become the prime minister of Egypt at that time. Rather, it was something between him and Allah Azza wa Jal. وكذلك نجزي المحسنين ولما بلغ أشده آتيناه حكما وعلما وكذلك نجزي المحسنين. Allah Azza wa Jal said, as Yusuf was growing up, as he became a teen, after he went through the challenge of being thrown in the well by his own brothers, وأوحينا إليه لتنبئنهم بأمرهم هذا وهم لا يشعرون. وكذلك يتم نعمته عليك كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق. When he narrated his story to his father alayhi salam, he said to him, Allah Azza wa Jal is choosing you. Allah is promoting you. Why Allah Azza wa Jal is promoting you? Allah Alimun Hakim. Allah knows that ya Yusuf, you are possessing the qualities that would lead you to be a muhsin, to be a person who is qualified. Allah Alimun Hakim, He knows, and He is Hakim in the way He directs things in our life. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jal said that وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ, when he become strong, when he become in his late teens, when he become a decent individual, آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا, we have given him the hukum as well as the ilm. And what's the reason behind that? Ya Rabbi innahu kana min al-muhsinin. He was a muhsin in his life. That's why Allah Azza wa Jal have directed for things for him and have led him to success in his life. What's ihsan? As it is defined to us by the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. So it's primarily the taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal, the khashya. إنه من يتقي ويصبر فإن الله لا يضيع أجر المحسنين ولأجر الآخرة خير للذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. When he became the most influential person on earth at his time, Allah Azza said, وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ, the rewards of the akhirah is better, خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ, to those who believe, yet they were conscious and mindful of Allah Azza wa Jal. Ihsan, as it is defined by Sheikh Sha'rawi in his lectures many times, he said, to do what Allah Azza wa Jal have prescribed unto you beyond what Allah Azza wa Jal have asked to you. Allah have asked you to pray for Him 5 times a day. He have asked you to fast for Him 1 month a year. He have asked you to pay 2.5% of your surplus money. Yet to be a muhsin, you go beyond what Allah Azza wa Jal have asked you to do. You do not pray only the fara'id, but you go beyond that to pray the sunan, al-rawatib, and then you pray the nawafil, and then you excel in your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal in qiyam al-layl. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ نَافِلَةً عَسَى لَكَ عَسَى أَن يَبْعَثَكَ رَبُّكَ مَقَامًا مَحْمُودًا. And the ihsan is not only to fast this 30 days of the year, but rather to be muhsin in your ibadah to Allah Azza wa Jal by fasting as much as Allah allow you to do, as much as your body is enabling you to do. And once you get yourself used and trained to do the ihsan in your ibadah, it becomes a habit for you and nothing will be difficult for you. You're easily able to fast the Mondays and Thursdays and 3 days of the month, or to fast other beautiful times of the year to gain the rewards of Allah Azza wa Jal. Once you get used to spending in the cause of Allah Azza wa Jal, the 2.5% will be the basic for your spending, but you will be giving and giving because you're hoping that Allah Azza wa Jal will be considering you from those كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون بالأسحار هم يستغفرون وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم. You will become from those who are muhsin in their relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal as a result of your persistence in qiyam al-layl, as a result of leaving the comfort of sleeping at night to standing between the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal and praying to Him and asking Him for the success and asking Him for the hidayah, because hidayah is eventually from Allah Azza wa Jal. وَكَذَا إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal gave the Yusuf alayhi salam the hukum and the ilm as a result of his ihsan in his relationship, both in his worshipping to Allah Azza wa Jal as well as into doing his what is expected from him. وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. When the Aziz of the Masr, the Prime Minister of Egypt at that time, said to his wife, أَكْرِمِي مَثْوَاهُ عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعُنَا أو نتخذه ولدا وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض ولنعلمه من تأويل الأحاديث. He grew up in the house of the Aziz learning, because the Aziz saw in him as a person who's eager to learn, who's an open-minded, who's very, very hard-working. As a result, he taught him all what he needs to learn, so that later on, after another trial, after too many trials in his life, he become the most influential person in the country of Egypt at that time, in the state of Egypt at that time. He did not become the most influential person just because he happened to meet the right people at the right time. No, because he possessed إني اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. حفيظ عليم. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do the job. I know what is expected to be done. And إني حفيظ, I am also a person who have conscience of Allah Azza wa Jal in his own mind. I would not be doing what the other prime minister have done from the past, as he threw me in the jail for بضع سنين. Because after the first trial, when the wife of Al-Aziz tried to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam, he said, معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون. Yusuf alayhi salam did not take this invitation from the wife of the Aziz to be a ticket for him to do the zina wal-'iyadhu billah. This is the most awful, this is the most disgusting sin that a person can do in his or her life, because the consequences of zina wal-'iyadhu billah will be paid unto you in your life before it is in the akhirah. You will pay it in your own home before it is paid outside. Man yazni, whoever does the zina with others, you will be yuzna fi baytihi, then that zina will be done to his own home without being aware of it. So be careful. the promotion of the move is always behind this, beautiful, attractive individuals from both genders, and they see that sexuality as an avenue for them to the success. This is the completely wrong, completely drifting the people from the right path, from fidelity. Infidelity is nothing but disruption in people's life. When this woman, the most influential woman in Egypt at that time, invited him for zina, he said immediately, "Ma'adh Allah, innahu Rabbi ahsana mathwaya." How could I do this to a person who have invited me to his own home, and he have invested in me and made me become a learned person? Innahu la yuflihu adh-dhalimun. Allah Azza wa Jalla would not give to success. So as you grow up, take off these awful images that has been promoted and planted in young people's mind. Iffa, chastity, tahara, taqwa is the secret of success for you in your life. This is what would lead you to become successful in your life, because you will be connected with Allah Azza wa Jal, not be remoted from Allah Azza wa Jal, and you would not be dragged into the problems after problems, to khati'ah after khati'ah, wal iyadu billah. إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون ولقد همت به وهم به لولا أن رأى برهان ربه كذلك نصرف عنه السوء والفحشاء إنه من عبادنا المخلصين. It was the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal in Yusuf that have saved him from this ma'asiyah, as he said later on, يا ربي إلا تصرف عني كيدهن أصب إليهن وأكن من الجاهلين. فاستجاب له ربه فصرف عنه كيدهن إنه هو السميع العليم. What saved Yusuf alayhi salam is indeed the intervention of Allah Azza wa Jal in that particular moment. Because why? He was mukhlas. Mukhlas in his ibadah. He was sincere in his ibadah with Allah Azza wa Jal. He was sincere in his relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. He is from ibadullah al-mukhlasin. Look into ikhlas in your life. Hard work indeed is one of the elements that lead you to success in your life. Another important thing is success, is sincerity. When you open your textbook, when you go to school, when you try when you work hard in your life, let this hard work not be for the sake of fame and name. Let it not be for the image of being successful and driving a very expensive car, or living in a very expensive house, or marrying a very beautiful woman. Let this be to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Rabbi, I am going to school, I'm going to university, I am working hard, Ya Rabbi, in my life, because Ya Rabbi, I want to be muhsin in my life. I want to follow the footsteps of Uthman alayhi salam. I want to follow the footsteps of Abdul Rahman ibn Auf alayhi salam. I want to be from those ومن الناس من يشتري نفسه ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد. I want to live this ayah like the Sahabi who Suhaib al-Rumi, when he left from Mecca and the people of Mecca stopped him as he was leaving away and migrating to Allah Azza wa Jal to Medina. They said to him, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm migrating in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal." They said, "Now you came to us as a slave and you become so rich and you're leaving and taking your wealth with you." He said to them, "If I give you my wealth, would you let me alone? Would you leave me alone?" They said to him, "Yes." He said, "Here you go. Take all my money, let me go to Allah Azza wa Jal." And when he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Rabih al-bay'." Indeed, your trade had been accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. So let this ikhlas, sincerity, to become from the mukhlasin in your life, in your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal, so that Allah the Mighty will protect you in the most difficult times. This is what Yusuf said. "Rabbi, illa tasrif anni kaydahunna asbu ilayhinna wa akum min al-jahilin." Yusuf was like any average person, any average teen who has the hormones in his body. He had the desire. He was not the person who did not have the desire. He did have the desire, but his love to Allah Azza wa Jal, his awareness of the consequences of this ma'asiyah made him to say, "Ya Rabb, Ya Rabbi," and his dua was not only verbally, it was coming from the heart. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah Azza wa Jal فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ فَصَرَفَ عَنْهُ كَيْدَهُنَّ. Allah responded to his dua. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah knew that Yusuf was honest and sincere about his dua, and his dua is coming from the heart. This What is the secret of success in Yusuf's life? After that trial, he was thrown into jail for bid'a sinin, 9 years at least, as according to the Mufassirin. And then after that, we know the story how the king of Egypt then saw the dream, and he needed someone to interpret the dream. And then the person who was saved from the companions of Yusuf alayhi salam in the jail, who came to him and said, "Nabbi'na bita'wilihi inna naraka min al-muhsinin." They testified for him even when he was in jail that he was muhsin in his relationship with others around him. He used to help others around him. He was kind, and he was a da'i to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is another secret of your success. Your life is based on da'wah to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Just like Yusuf alayhi salam, he knew one day he will become a very influential person in his life and the life of others around him. But he knew that at the same time he has a mission to do da'wah to Allah Azza wa Jal. يا صاحبي السجن أرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار. He was doing da'wah even in jail when he was in jail. And then after that, he became the most influential person as a result of his ihsan in his relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. Even in his relationship with his own brothers. إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمْ يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. He was muhsin in his relationship with his own brothers. تَاللَّهِ لَقَدْ آثَرَكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا وَإِن كُنَّا لَخَاطِئِينَ. When they knew that Yusuf is the most influential person, Yusuf is the prime minister of Egypt, he's the one they have been communicating with, he said to them, لَا تَثْرِيبَ عَلَيْكُمْ. Don't worry, يَغْفِرُ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. He forgave them immediately. وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla is the most is أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. This is the ihsan in the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. Let us put things into the right perspective. Let's not think of illegal shortcuts to success in our life. Drugs, guns, gang violence is not going to lead you anywhere. We had one of our students of this masjid, who used to attend this masjid's madrasa. He's now in jail as a result, being charged with murder charges. Why? Why are you doing this to yourselves? Why are you being fooled with the attractiveness of the money and the attractiveness of the different the things that you see around you, of nice cars and beautiful girls? Stay focused in your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. Be a muhsin both in your relationship in ibadah with Allah and in your study and hard work, so that Allah Azza wa Jal insha'Allah will give you the success as He had given that to Yusuf alayhi salam. اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم كذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض يتبوأ منها حيث نشاء نصيب برحمتنا من نشاء ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين ولأجر الآخرة خير للذين اتقوا وللذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us from them. Allahumma ameen. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه فأفوز المستغفرين. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم إن عبيدك أبناء عبيدك أبناء إمائك نواصين يا رب بيدك ماض فينا حكمك عدل فينا قضاؤك. نسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك بأن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا يا رب. اجعله جلاء لهمومنا وأحزاننا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعلنا من المحسنين في طاعتنا إليك يا رب. اللهم اجعلنا من المحسنين في عبادتنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك المحسنين من عبادك المخلصين. اللهم نسألك بأنك أنت الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر يا مالك الملك. احفظ أبناءنا احفظ بناتنا احفظ شباب المسلمين احفظ أمة نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم إنك ناصر دينك ناصره يا رب. نسألك بجلالك ورحمتك أن تجعلنا سببا في نصرة دينك يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, we ask you by your mercy to protect our youth. Ya Allah, protect them and guide them into the right path, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya Allah, be with them. Ya Allah, protect them. Ya Allah, guide them to the hidayah. Ya Allah, be with them, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Save them, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Ya Allah, we ask you to protect Ummah Nabiyyik Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Allah, you are giving victory to your deen regardless, Ya Rabb. Ya Rabbi, we ask you to make it a purpose of the victory of your deen, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa aqim as-salah.